Hi, my name's Julie and I'm here to talk about the mental health issues that are in and around gambling harm. I am what you would call an affected other, which means I've never gambled in my life, but my life and my family's life have been affected by a gambler. That was my husband of 25 years, who throughout our marriage had an addiction to gambling, which severely affected his own mental health as he got into deeper and deeper debt due to gambling losses. The pressure that he was under and the anxiety of hiding this all from myself. And then unfortunately when it all came out and I found out about his gambling issues, then the stress and the stigma of the gambling addiction and the gambling harm that it had on both of us, which then affected our marriage and our relationship, caused problems between us as a couple, had a knock-on effect on our children. It wasn't very nice at a young age in the beginning for them to see their parents unhappy and see the anxiety and the stress that was brought about by the mental health caused by gambling. Sadly, after his first bout of severe gambling, his mental health didn't really get any better and he chose not to seek any help for that. We had a good few years where he didn't gamble and we worked hard. I had a lot of counselling and talk therapy to help me through the issues that I had around my anxiety and the stress of gambling harm. But just before lockdown, unfortunately, he relapsed and decided that he wanted to go back and gamble again. And at this point, it became a severe issue. It changed his whole personality. He became quite abusive, aggressive. Obviously, during lockdown, we were all locked in the house, so we couldn't move away from it. I and my children either lived upstairs or in the garden because he wasn't a very nice person to be around. He would spend 12 hours a day just sat on the settee, gambling on his laptop. He took out loans in my name that I didn't know. He took out credit cards and used the money on them. He borrowed lots and lots of money from people that I was totally unaware of. And as I say, his mental health severely suffered and he became a completely different person that unfortunately eventually I was physically assaulted. So he was removed from the house by the police and we were separated for approximately 8 or 9 months through a restraining order. This was a very, very sad time for me, a very stressful time for my children. I had a genuine concern about his health and how he was dealing with things, but I couldn't help him because I had to look after myself and my children and our own mental health. And unfortunately in November of 2021, my husband took his own life in a gambling related suicide. So apart from the issues of mental health that we have dealt with up until that time, myself and my children, who were then 16 and 21, had to deal with the loss of somebody that we couldn't help, the guilt and the grief of losing somebody to suicide that we wish we could have helped. And that is a work in progress. That's a gambling harm and mental health legacy that we've been left with, that although we move forward and we've worked hard to look at positives and try and remember the good times and work on healing ourselves, it'll never go away. So it's something we now have to learn to live with. So mental health is exceptionally important in all walks of life. But I now concentrate my life and my work on working with bringing gambling harm awareness to the general public to try and prevent these things from happening again and to try and stop the mental health of vulnerable people being affected by an addiction. I currently work now with 2 amazing charities, one very small one called Gambling Harm UK, and we work to bring awareness into schools and colleges for children and young adults from 14, 15 years up to about 24, 25 years old to try and show them the potentials of gambling harm, because I feel, or we feel very strongly, that prevention is much better than cure. And if we can explain to them that there are the pitfalls out there, then maybe as they grow nothing to say there's anything wrong with a gamble, but they will do it respectfully, responsibly, and within the money that they can afford. I also work, my main job is with a charity called Bet No More. We're a peer support charity that works all over the UK, doing fabulous peer support work with people in recovery, which is the Peer Aid programme. We have started an arm of looking after affected others through our aftercare programme, and we also have an amazing women's programme called New Beginnings, which deals with both affected others and people in recovery for women by women, which has now just gone all over the UK as well. Apart from that, I also try and help out wherever I can, spreading the word of gambling awareness and just trying to educate people that drugs are spoken about, alcohol is spoken about, gambling as an addiction needs to be spoken about too. We need to break the stigma and the shame that surrounds gambling harm, and we also need to let the general public know that this is a serious public health issue.